Hello Pythonistas! Today we're going to try something different. We're going to code together. And the project that I chose to program with you is a logger. Now you might think there's the logging module, which is a built-in module in Python, and you're probably going to use that if you want to log something. But for the sake of learning how stuff works and also to apply things that we learn in the sort of lecture series of my channel, I wanted to do a live coding, and I chose the logger because it's simple enough so that we can have progress quite quickly and we can see things are working quite quickly, but it's also complex enough, or we can make it complex enough so that we can have a lot of fun and apply all those techniques and concepts that we're going to learn in the lectures. So let's dive right in. I'm going to start with an empty file called hdlogger.py. hdlogger is the name that I chose for it. You know, Python hdlogger, whatever, you can call it what you want. I put it in a directory also called hdlogger, and I'm going to start off with a docstring. I'm going to talk about docstrings in an upcoming video, but for now it's just a string, a multi-line string in the beginning of the module in this case, where I'm going to describe the module and give a description and maybe put the copyright and license information and stuff like that. But in this case I just want to use it as sort of a sticky note for our to-do list, for what we want to achieve. So the first line of the docstring is always a brief description of whatever the docstring is about. So in this case it's the hdlogger module, and I'm just saying hdlogger is an educational logger. Well, yeah, enough. And then I'm going to do a to-do list where I just want to brainstorm stuff that I want to achieve in this module. If you hear the noise outside, I'm really sorry, there's a lot of traffic apparently at 10 p.m. Whatever. So first of all, we want to be able to print to the command line or to the terminal. Maybe at some point we want to print to a file. Maybe at some point we want to print in color. That refers to the terminal, obviously. We want to be able to configure prefixes and suffixes, so stuff that comes before the message and after the message. And maybe we want to be able to use it in a multi-threading environment. Multi-threading, I just type multi-threading here. Same multi-processing. And that's it for now. I mean, we can expand this list later on. If you have any ideas of what the logger should be able to do, please write it down in the comments, and I'm definitely going to do that in the upcoming videos. Okay, so I want to keep it simple for now. So I just want to have a module that I can import, and I want to have a log function. So I'm just going to call it log. I'm going to define a function log, and for starters, it's just going to have a message. So the message is going to be a string, and actually the only thing that it has to do is print the message. So this would be like the easiest way of implementing a log function. It doesn't do anything else but printing. So why not just use print? Well, print is a great function and you can definitely use it for logging, but you might want to print stuff that's like logging stuff, and you might want to print stuff that's results stuff. And you might want to separate those two, or be able to switch off logging in order to just have the results printed out. So that's why it's a good idea to sort of separate the log print call, the call to print when you're logging, from the rest. So either way, it's will always already going to be useful like this. So let's just do a quick test. I'll just put it in the same file here and say if name equals name main. I'm going to explain this in a sec. Then log hello. Okay, so if name equals main, what that does is it checks the name of the currently executed, no, not of the currently executed program, of the place where this stands. So and checks if it's main. So if I execute this file as a Python script or as a Python program, the name will be main. So if I execute only this file as a program, this log hello will actually be executed, or everything that's below here. If I later on import this file as a module, the name, the variable underscore underscore name underscore underscore will be the name of the module. And I will not execute, and the log hello in this case, and that block will not be executed. So this is what this does. So let's try it out. So we're going to go to the terminal window or terminal tab at the bottom of the screen, and I'm just going to type Python 3 hdlogger. I didn't put a shebang there and didn't make it executable, so that's why I have to do this. Now, okay, first error. I'm just going to leave those errors in because this is like common errors that you'll find. And so it's also good to see yeah, what errors can occur and to not be puzzled by the errors. Okay, so hello is printed, great. So what, oh, I forgot one important thing up here, and it's actually one of the most important things. So we already can print to the terminal, that's okay. But we also want to have different log levels, and they might be, and I'm going to steal from the logging module here, error, warning, info, and debug. Yeah. Okay, so what I want to be able to do now is to pass a log level to the function log, so that I can write something like info, and it will print as an info, and I will write hello info here. And I also want to be able to print a warning. I want to be able to print an error and a debug message. So how am I going to do this? Maybe put this up there, just to have it in order. Okay, so now I want to have a log level here, log level, or just level maybe. I'm going to give it a default value of info, and one way to do this is to just and one way to do this is to just define global variables called debug, and I'm going to say debug is 0, and info is 1, and warning is 2, and you see where this is going, there's space missing, and error is 3. So now I can say, now this won't crash anymore, at least. Let's see if that's true. Okay, right now I'm printing everything because I'm not even checking the level. So I want to have sort of a default log level, and I'm just going to call this log level. So log level is going to be info or warning. I think in logging it's warning as well. That's the default level that's going to be printed. So log level, or the default log level warning, means that I want to print everything up to warning. So in this case it's error and warning. I don't want to print info and debug. If I say log level is info, I want to print errors, warnings, and info. and I don't want to print debug messages. If the log level is debugged, then I want to print everything. So if now I can say if level is greater or equal the log level, my default log level, which of course I can also change in the program, then I want to print the message, and otherwise I don't want to print the message. So let's try it. Alright, so now I'm just printing warning and error. Okay, so one more thing for now. I want to have a prefix which indicates whether this is an error or warning or an info message or a debug message. So I want to have something in front here, in front of the print message, depending on the log level that I'm actually logging at. I want to print info, debug, etc. So I have to translate the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 to log levels or to strings again. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to create a list called level names, and this is going to be a list of all the log levels, but as strings this time. There's probably more elegant ways to do this, but it's good enough for now. So it's going to be debug. Oops. It's going to be debug info warning and error. And this is actually just going to be the prefixes for our log messages. So what I'm going to write here before the level names, before the actual message, is going to do level names and then the level as an index, and this should do the trick. Let's see if it works. Oops, that curly bracket was me. So now I have hello warning and error, hello error printed out. So that's nice. All right, so we have a very basic logger, which we can import also. Maybe let's try this as a final test. Import hdlogger, and then I have hdlogger hello console or hello terminal. Okay, so the error was module object is not callable because I used hdlogger as if it was my function, my log function, but of course it is not. It's log. Why doesn't it print anything? Well, the default log level is warning, and the default level of the message that I'm logging is info, so it's okay that it doesn't print anything. If I use hdlogger.error, for example, it will print out an error. And I can also set the log level to say debug, and now okay, so the error here was name error, name debug is not defined because debug is defined within the module. So I'm going to do hdlogger debug, so this should then be able to print out this. Now I have an info message, hello terminal, and I should also be able to do hdlogger debug here and get a debug message. Great. So what did we do? We implemented a very simple logging module. It can print at 4 different log levels. We can switch the logging off by setting the log level to a value higher than 3 if we want to. Of course, that sort of defies the worth of the logging. If we have an error message that we want to pass to the user and print out on the terminal, then it makes sense not to switch it off, but it's possible. And we can print to the console. We can print to terminal. So in the next videos we are going to expand this and maybe at some point make a class out of it, because it's going to be quite messy otherwise. But for now I think it's a quite good approach, and we have a quite nice logger in something like 15 lines of code or so. See you next time. Until then, keep on coding.